Hey, what's up, y'all? Back with another video. Today I was in a chat for a live chat with Trevon James. He was doing a video. I know a lot of people hate on him, but I still check out his channel here and there. And one guy had mentioned how, if you really sit back and think about where we're at right now in crypto, our grandchildren, if we stick with this, will probably look at us as, legends or trendsetters. He said as legends. But, I'll also say as trendsetters, as, I guess just legends is the is the proper word for it. I think we're in the very beginning stages of a paradigm shift, All of these coins in a few years will be worth, multiples of what they are now. In betting small amounts on projects that seem promising as they come out, and just holding on to them for the long term could definitely pay off. I think it will pay off. It has to. Just because, this is a growing market, you will have continued downtrends, I think, over the next couple weeks, maybe a month or two. But I think just buying in slowly over these next couple of weeks is the best strategy. I don't have my Coinbase account hasn't worked in months, so be careful with Coinbase. Take your coins off of there as soon as you can. But if I still had the ability to use Coinbase, I would just set up what I had before it stopped working. It's a $5 debit per day, just buying into Bitcoin, buying into Ethereum, and you don't, after a while, you don't notice the money. You know what I mean? So I think just buying into a lot of these smaller coins over, hopefully, these next few months as things continue to go down a little bit, will be good. So, as I just think about it more and more, my mind is opening up to new coins and other things. I usually, want to stick with the top 10 coins right now, and trade those or hold those, accumulate those. But as I have a decent amount of those coins, I'm going to start venturing out into more risky investments, more coins that are maybe unknown or have a greater upside. But with that, you got to remember that those coins also can go to zero at any time. So, coins like IOTA, EOS, which a lot of people are calling the Ethereum killer. Jeff Berwick from the Dollar Vigilante had Dan Larimer, who's the I guess lead developer of EOS, on his show the other day. He just talked about how it's a blockchain that doesn't have gas required to work. So, it could be a real game changer. Something, of 100, I think it's 100 billion coins will be released over the next year or so. Something like 2 million a day or something like that. So, the price is around $1 and some change now. Had went up to $5 or $6 a few weeks back. But, that's something I'm going to start accumulating as well. I know at some point it's going to pump, and it could stay up there. So, also, Ant Shares. So Ant Shares, now rebranded as Neo, You know, the Ethereum of China is really something that I'm looking at taking some of my portfolio and diversifying into. So Neo has a fairly low supply. I think it's going to be 100 million coins out there. Yeah, total. It's currently trading around $7, $6.94 today, which is you know, a decent price. I think and you know, as things progress, all of these coins are going to see substantial growth. Some are going to, you know, take the same route as Ethereum took this past spring, which is really what I'm looking for again. And some are just going to double and triple. Either way, I think you can't lose in the long term if you invest for the long term, and that's the key for me. I do have a small amount of my portfolio that I'm looking to trade, you know, just to keep me active with cryptocurrency. But the majority of my portfolio I'm holding and accumulating. So Neo, EOS are two more coins I'm putting on my accumulation list, coins that I want to accumulate. I do have a few Veritasium, which also has a very low supply. So that's really what I'm looking for, you know, coins with a low supply that have some potential, because a lot of these market caps are, you know, in comparison to other companies or other entities, commodities, whatever you want to look at it as, are still very tiny. You know, 300 million, 200 million, 400 million for a lot of these coins that could potentially have billions in market cap in the future, in a few years or in a year, you know, could potentially have billions in their market cap. So as I think, you know, as these things continue to grow, I'm going to keep looking out for new coins with low supply, which have a function that I could see potentially myself using or people I know using. And that's really, I think, a winning strategy. The coins now that are a decent price all have that low supply and all have function that I see could be useful in the future. So whether they win super long term or not, I'm holding for the long term. I'm buying for the long term. And I'm gonna buy in slowly. I may make a bigger purchase when I have some profit from maybe another one of my coins pumping. But my plan is to buy in slowly on a weekly basis, and just accumulate these coins over time. I know these investments are risky, and people should also be aware of that. But you know, you gotta risk it to get those huge returns. I even purchased some Omisco OMG coin yesterday as well. So I have some of those in my portfolio. And that's really it. Only thing I don't like about these smaller coins is that you don't really have somewhere secure offline to store them. So that's really one of the main reasons I didn't hold some of these other smaller coins, you know, before, just because you know, I like to keep my coins offline in a hardware wallet. But you know, I use Bittrex now. It's been pretty stable even through some of these turbulent times in the last few weeks, last few months. So I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with Bittrex and their system, and maybe that's the wrong thing to do. You know, that'll probably be the night they get hacked or something. But I figure, you know, it's worth the risk. it's worth the risk at this point, because if you can buy into one of these smaller coins for a couple $100 or a few hundred or even $1,000, get a number of shares early, and next year around this time, who knows what it could be. I have a picture on my Instagram of a screenshot of Poloniex from, I think, 6 months ago or 5 months ago, and it's like those prices are a distant memory. Like, F being $32, LTC being $3, $4, $5, Bitcoin being around 1,000 or whatever it was at that time. And I think we're gonna see the same thing with in a few months, in a year. $2,300, $2,500 F will be, Bitcoin will be a distant memory. $200 F will be a distant memory. And these other coins will probably go parabolic once Bitcoin resolves its issues. I think that's what's holding up the whole space. But take it as opportunity. Bitcoin is down. It's going down. It's it's kind of holding its value now. It's around 2,400 today. But I just want to make sure I take full advantage of this opportunity. Get as many of these coins as possible. We are pioneers in a new space, and almost everything will probably go up. Just how much? That's really the game you got to play. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But as always, subscribe below. Appreciate y'all taking the time to watch my video. Subscribe below. Hit the notifications if you can. Follow me on Instagram @legal_Jones. And y'all keep buying that crypto.